Testing and tracking on the internet are essential to your success, and using AdSense is no different. Now, the main problem with that is most people hate tracking. Just the word itself, tracking, or the word testing, often sort of sends fear down people's spines. I am one of those people. I hate it. I hate anything to do with sort of tracking and testing and all that stuff. Or at least I used to. Because this is the best way to actually improve. Make tiny, small changes, improvements over time, and that's when you start to really ramp up your earnings. So I'm going to take you through on this video how you can actually track and test most efficiently for your AdSense ads, make small changes, and actually get improvements every single day as you work through it. So what you need to think about is when you're actually trying to increase your AdSense revenue, you need to be a project manager. Okay, this needs to be you. That's a good likeness, I think you'll find. Okay, so this needs to be you, and you need to be spinning plates, but managing things from the middle. You don't want to be doing all this stuff yourself. So what you've got to take care of, and the two main things that we'll look at, are tracking. So you've got to look at tracking, reports, testing, how things are working. You've also got to look at key phrases. So what people are actually typing in, using the right phrases on your page to get the highest paying clicks. Okay, you've got to be looking at those things, and obviously you've got to be looking at everything else. The actual content itself. Where's that coming from? And actually adding in the ads onto the pages. So you need to be a project manager, and the experts at this game in AdSense and in internet marketing generally become project managers, and they outsource or they get other people or other solutions to tick off these boxes, to do the tracking, to do the keywords, to do the content, to do the ads, etc. So what we're going to look at, as I say, is the tracking and testing and how you can actually do that as easily as possible. Now, Google has its own channels functionality, and what this enables you to do is actually set up a channel to measure how effectively your ads are performing. Now, when you first get into this, it's made, I think, needlessly complex by Google. All it's saying is you can measure the performance of your ads on any given page of your site. It might be a directory, or it might be, a specific page.html or whatever. And you can set these things up. You get up to 200 of these channels you can set up, and all they are is just measurement channels. All you're telling Google is that if any ads are shown in this area or this page, anything's clicked on, go and put it into this particular bucket. Okay, from a reporting point of view. So all the data for that particular part of my site goes into this bucket, and then at a later date I can go and I can look in this bucket, and it will tell me how this part of my site has performed, how many people have visited it, how many people have clicked on links, gives me the click-through ratio, etc. So that's all that you're doing. Now, there's two main types of channels that you can set up using Google. One is this, which is a URL channel, where you define a specific directory or page, and Google will measure the performance for that page. Now, the way that you would use that, you might want to do that just to, as I'm doing, to check how different parts of your site are performing. Is one particular type of content getting more views and clicks than another? Maybe you need to focus your content on other areas, or maybe one content area or one content page is getting fewer visitors and fewer clicks, but the clicks are actually generating more revenue for you. So maybe you should get more content in that area. So these are very worthwhile things doing to set up. You can also do tests. For example, let's take this one. I could, on the rugby page or the rugby section of the site, I could go off and say, okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to try, if this is the page in rugby, I'm going to use the straightforward ads at the top, and I'm just going to put one down here. In the Africa page, what I'm going to do is all the pages for Africa, I'm going to try the ads at the top there, but I'm also going to try one here and one down here, and I'm going to try an ad link unit down here. And what that will do is you can then go back and test and see, okay, did this perform better than this? If it did, maybe I should think about applying these principles to this area. Okay, so these are just some ideas that you can use to test. Now, the other thing you can do with channels is you can set up what's called a custom channel. That is something that's not connected to a URL or any particular part or page of your site. It's just something that you define. Now, the way that I've used it, I've created channels for different parts of my site. So I've created a channel for all the ads that appear at the bottom of my site, all the ad links that appear at the top of my articles, so I can see how these elements are performing across different pages of my site. You could, for example, try out different colours, and you could say, okay, I'll create a channel called, blue themed colour or whatever, and then use that code on all your AdSense ads, and it would measure how well that particular ad performed, and you can obviously run different tests. So there's quite a lot of scope to it, but the thing with Google's tracking testing and this channels thing, it's quite clunky to use. It doesn't really make it easy, I don't think, for you to use. Now, the best thing that I've found is a bit of software called Adsense Track, and I'll send you to this site once this video is finished. Apart from using the best form of ad, which I spoke about in the previous video, using this software has had the most dramatic effect on my earnings, because it's enabled me to actually be at the center of all the data. It gives you so much information, way more than Google gives you, on how your ads are performing. So this is a demo of it. I'm just going to show you, just quickly, some of the things that it does. Okay, so for the ad format, what it does is it actually breaks down and says, for all the ads, you don't need to go and set up channels for this. It just records it. It goes off and tells you, okay, this type of ad, this size, this color that you're using, the URL, is getting this many views, and this is the click-through ratio that you're getting. So in this example, it's only got 2, but you could have a series of ads down here, and it would just show you instantly, at a glance, which is the best ad. This is best ad format. This is best ad format, second, third, etc. What it'll also show you is which parts of your site are performing best. So at a view, it gives you, okay, any given period, this part of your site is getting the most clicks. Again, you don't need to set anything up for this. Just pop one bit of code on your pages, and it goes off and it measures all this. So you don't need to set up any channels to do this. It just does it automatically. So it shows you how many clicks you're getting from each area of your site, how many views you're getting, what the click-through ratio is. But when we get into the real information, some of this stuff is like, oh, well, okay, I could get that from Google if I had the time, but just look at some of this stuff that you can get. If I click on here, this referrer, this stuff, now you don't get this from Google. What this shows you, okay, this is for this demo site for the past 24 hours, it shows us where people are coming from. Look at that, where people are coming from. So you can actually go back and you can say, okay, I'm getting some results from MSN there. People have typed in this phrase. All right, and that's resulted in a click. This is amazing information, because you can take this and you can say, okay, past 24 hours, I've had 6 people typing cat pictures in this example from MSN, and they resulted, I've had 67 people typing cat pictures, and 6 of those resulted in clicks. So if I get more content for this phrase, I optimize my pages for this phrase, I'm going to get more views, and I'm going to get more clicks. It's brilliant. It tells you exactly what you need to do to get more clicks, to get more traffic, and which areas to focus on. That's why I'm saying it's like a goldmine of information that you can use very, very easily just to see which areas you should be focusing on. If I go here into keywords, take a look at this. Again, you don't get any of this from Google. It goes in past 24 hours and says, okay, these are the best keywords that people have found you, what they've been typing into search engines. Okay, so we can see this cat pictures one, 211 views, it's resulted in 23 clicks. And so on downwards. Now, the good thing about this, obviously you can focus on the phrases that are getting lots of clicks and do more of that, but you can also see down here, these are the phrases that you were found for, but you didn't get any clicks for, 0 clicks. So what you might surmise by that is, well, okay, if I'm getting a lot of views for a particular phrase, people are finding me, but they're not clicking, something's going wrong. So you need to log on, look at that page, see if the ads are right, see if you're using any images or whatever, if they're right. Why aren't people clicking? Maybe the content is irrelevant. Maybe you should just get rid of that content and focus on the content up here that is getting the clicks. Again, if we click on this, number of clicks 23, it shows you even more information. It actually tells you which ad people have clicked on. So you can go back to that page and look, and it will tell you which ad people have clicked on, so you can see which ad's performing best. Again, it will obviously give you the referrer information. Where did they come from? Was it a search engine? Was it a link? You've also got this keywords tab. As I say, it gives you a breakdown of all the keywords that people have typed in. As I say, I can't emphasize strongly enough how important this software is, because it just gives you everything you need to know about AdSense. If you're not using it, you're running blind. Yes, you can set up some channels to a small degree on Google, but you're really only scratching the surface. This just gives you the ultimate picture. Now, along with this software, the guy is called Jonathan Ledger. He also gives you a whole bunch of keywords, and I mean, I think it's like 100,000 or something ridiculous, that he's researched that are the highest paying keywords. Now, let me just illustrate this. I need to explain, it's very important. Remember we spoke about if you've got a page, okay, and you've got your ads, this is your block of ads, and you've got your content. Now, these ads, the content of these ads is determined by the words that are on your page. So, if we're selling picture frames, and this article is all about picture frames, what's going to happen is these ads will be about picture frames. But if that phrase, picture frames, okay, is not bidded for very highly, i.e. advertisers aren't willing to spend very much to appear for that phrase, you're only going to get a small, maybe small amount per click, and obviously you're going to split that with Google. However, if there's a phrase that you can use, instead of X, let's just call it phrase Y, that you know for a fact advertisers are willing to bid, say, $1 for every per click, and you build your site and you include that phrase in your content, guess what? The ads here are going to be for sites that are willing to pay $1. So every time you get a click, you're not going to get a share of 10 cents, you're going to get a share of $1. So getting these key phrases and finding these key phrases that pay the most is a key part of building your revenue. And this guy, Jonathan, he gives you, I say, thousands and thousands of phrases that he's done the research on that pay the most. So if you build content and build content and articles around these phrases, you're going to get more per click. Now, this is a screenshot. Now, I don't want to give his secrets away, so I've grayed out these lists, the actual phrases themselves. But what this shows you is this particular phrase, on average, is getting a bid of $40 per click. Now, obviously, you're not going to get all that. You're going to split it with Google. But just look, some of these are $30 a click, $30 a click, $25. Now, I'm not saying that, you're instantly going to get $20, $30 a click, or, even a share of that. But if you focus on these areas and you start building content for these high-paying key phrases, you're going to get a lot more per click than you're getting at the moment. And he gives you this, as I say, these thousands and thousands of keywords, all worth, dollars per click rather than cents. He gives you that free when you get the software. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to send you to the site right now, and I just urge you to get it. I'm using it. It's a key component that I use. As I say, it is the most important thing that I use in terms of software to build up my AdSense revenue. And apart from that, using a particular ad format, it's the only other thing that's had the largest effect on my AdSense earnings. So I'm going to send you there right now. Read through his stuff. Read his testimonials. It's backed up by a money-back guarantee if it's not for you, but try it. Just try it, and you'll see the results for yourself. You get instant access to all these stats and these high-paying keywords. And on top of that, he also gives you 25,000 articles that you can use free of charge. They're already formatted. You just dump them up onto your site, and you get 25,000 articles. Now, they're not duplicate content, because what you can do, he also gives you what's called an RSS infuser. This inserts unique content into each article, making it unique to your site. Check this site out right now, and you get all this as part of the package.